What is good? What is up? It's Jordan or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another Texans film breakdown. Today, we are going to be breaking down the legendary Arian Foster, the GOAT Texans running back. This one really hits close to home for me because Foster is my all-time favorite player, and he's the guy who made me fall in love with football in general. Without him, I wouldn't be here right now. I loved everything about his game, his cutbacks. Whew, they were a thing of beauty, man. They were a masterpiece. He was such a complete back as well, and man, I still hope that every undrafted free agent running back we sign is the next Foster. But there will never be another Foster because he's one of a kind, and I'm going to break down what makes him so special today. So if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button, subscribe for Feeno, man, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. Now, let's break down the film of the cutback king, Arian Foster, because the film don't lie. So to start it off, we wouldn't be doing Feeno justice if we didn't talk about his cutbacks. They are a staple of his game and really what he's known for. That ability to make one cut and just burst upfield into open space was awesome to watch. There was a beauty to it, honestly. Such a simple idea, but he executed every time, and it was like no one could stop him. Breaking it down a little bit, he did a great job to get low, and that leverage allows him to explode off his plant foot in the opposite direction. Foster was more of an upright runner. I mean, look how high he is once he gets the ball, but when he needed to make a cut, he could quickly get low, bend from his knees, and that creates a tension that kind of acts like a spring, and so when that tension is released, it creates a sudden burst, and that's how he's able to create so much space off that cut. Just really digging his foot into the ground and exploding off of it. It's so much fun to watch because on some of these runs, the front side is bottled up and it looks like there's nowhere for Foster to go, but he's always able to see the backside and cut towards it as kind of like an escape valve. And that's such a great ability to have, the ability to make something out of nothing. Even if the defense knew what we were going to do, they basically knew that every first down was going to be an outside zone to the edge, and they could have sold out for it. But getting them to sell out to the outside so hard is exactly what we wanted. It's exactly what Foster wanted because it creates that cutback lane. And that Cutbacks offense was a perfect fit for him. Running tons of outside zone, the Texans were able to create horizontal flow from the defense, which is what opens up that backside cutback. So on this play against the Jets, you're going to see how the box players, they need to respect the run to the left. You know, they have to guard the edge there, but then what that does is you can see that this strong safety here, he comes down, he fills his lane very well to the point where Foster doesn't want to hit that hole because it is plugged. But then look at this linebacker where the edge threat draws so much attention that he's forced into all of this traffic. He's forced to get blocked, and look at all the space to the backside here. And this is a good example of this linebacker actually playing decently disciplined, and it's not a huge gain, but Foster was the king of these 4, 5, 6 yard gains that would just kept the chains moving. And so even if a player is in position to plug the first couple reads on the outside zone, you just had faith that Foster would always be able to find another lane and get positive yardage. And on this play, you're going to see that Foster, he's actually able to get to the edge. He gets around the left tackle, which we haven't seen yet. And then at this point, because of the flow of the defense, Paul Leslie is in great position. He has outside leverage on this left guard who's made it to the second level. And because he has outside leverage here, Foster knows that he can't continue bouncing this run to the outside or else he's going to get tackled. He sees the cutback lane because his vision is always on point, and he knows that's his escape. That's his way of getting out of trouble here. He makes that smooth cut, and he picks up a good extra 10, maybe even 15 yards because of it. And that's what makes him such a dangerous runner, because even if he's not making that cutback at the line of scrimmage, he can still make it at the second level and destroy your linebackers who are over pursuing. And that cutting ability is just so great for Foster to be able to pick up extra yardage that just aren't blocked for him by the O-line. Because during these years, we had a damn good O-line. Don't get me wrong, I love that O-line. I miss those guys. But some people like to act like the O-line is what created Arian Foster, and that's just not the case whatsoever. Yes, they were a big help for him, but the two have to work together. The running back and the O-line have to have cohesion together, and they had great cohesion, and Foster was able to get what the O-line blocked for him, but also way more because of these cutbacks and his ability to make people miss. And this was one of my favorite runs where it's not the most drastic cutback, but it's just so smooth. There's no wasted motion from Foster whatsoever. He's just an assassin with it. And you're going to see he's going to be running off the right tackle here, but the edge is a little bit compromised. It's not that great, and so he's going to take a little subtle hop to the inside. It's not really the full dramatic cutback that we saw before. It's quicker, and he doesn't need to cover as much space because he's not looking to cut all the way back just to this little lane that he's seeing here, where he's following the right guard who's done a really great job to make it to the second level and get to this linebacker. And I love the subtleties to Foster on this run, where when he starts to hit this hole, he keeps it very tight to the center, Chris Myers right here. He's basically touching him at this point. He's not taking the angle wide, and he does that because he's trying to manipulate this linebacker right here. He's keeping it as inside as possible so that at the last second, then he can bounce it outside. And so you're going to see here that the linebacker, he peeks his head to the inside because he thinks that Foster is going to go that way, but that's exactly what Foster wants him to think. He's playing mind games with him. And so as soon as he peeks inside, boom, then he bounces it outside, and he got him. He fooled him. And it's that subtle manipulation of his blocks that Foster was just so good at, and it's one of my favorite qualities of a running back. What I look for in a running back is vision, ability to manipulate blocks, and ability to make the first man miss. If you can pair all those three together, that's a great baseline for running back traits. And Foster for sure had all of those three. And this was one of the most craziest like backyard football type of plays. He made so many defenders miss. Like, I'm just losing count here. Like stuff like that and cutting it all the way back across the formation like that. Like coaches get pissed off if their running back tries that. But Foster is that dude. In his athletic prime, he was slippery. Ain't nobody tackling him easy. And he was always determined to get as many yards as possible. He was never going down without a fight, and he was never happy with the negative yards or just a no gain. He just had that drive, and I love that dog in him. And you can see that dog in how hard he ran at times, and he can just lower that shoulder and boom, he just destroyed this man. He embarrassed Aqib Talib right here, put him in the dirt. Oh man, that was nasty, man. Rest in peace to Aqib Talib, because this dude just got sunned. Oh my god, look at this. Boom. God damn, Foster acting like Talib stole his girl or something. Chill. So the next thing that Foster was so great at, in my opinion, was his short area acceleration. You know, he was never really the top end elite speed type of guy, and I'll talk about that later in the video, but it was his acceleration from when he had to stop and start that really helped out his game. And right here, when he has to slow down a little bit there to make that cut, he's able to speed up so quickly to accelerate through that hole and get a nice gain out of it. And to me, short area acceleration is honestly more important than having elite long speed, because you're in these situations where you have to burn pursuit angles at the second level way more than you are at the third level. And so this angle, we're going to get a great view of it, where he slows down a little bit to juke at the line of scrimmage, and then linebacker number 57, he's got a good angle on him. But it's that short area acceleration like this that gets him out of this tricky situation where he could have easily been tackled here. And this play is one of the best examples where he's going to come to a grinding stop basically at this point, but then his short area acceleration, his 0 to 60 is insane, man. And that's why I really think that speed can be an overrated trait for running backs. I don't put too much stock into your 40-yard dash, but I care about your 10-yard split, because that shows your acceleration, how quickly you're able to get yourself out of these tricky situations. That can be honestly way more valuable than overall speed. And so as great of a runner that Foster was, he was also super effective in the passing game. In his two best years in 2010 and 2011, he had 600 receiving yards in each of those years, and he was just always a weapon underneath, and he was a good route runner. On this one, you saw that he had a great cut to beat that linebacker, and you can really see how that cutback that he always does, like boom, right here, it looks like a cutback like when he's running the ball, but it can be so damn effective in the passing game as well. And it just made him such a tough weapon to guard, because look at this, he's just able to get low and explode off that foot and create space. And how are you supposed to guard that? And while he was a solid route runner, the offense definitely put him in positions to succeed and pick up receiving yards. They ran a good amount of screens to him, whether he's out of the backfield or lining him up out wide. He is just as dangerous as a wide receiver in the passing game, and that's because as soon as you put the ball in his hands, boom, he's back to running back mode. He's back to making people miss, juking them out of their shoes. I mean, look at all of these. He's just picking up extra yardage that most of the wide receivers on the team, they ain't picking up. You know what I mean? We didn't really have a yak threat like that, but Foster, man, he was just such a weapon. Dual threat running back all the way. And can we just appreciate this offense that we had just for a minute, man? I want to take that trip down memory lane, man, because it was just so much fun to watch. It was so much fun. We were unstoppable, man. From Schaub to Dre to OD, the O-line, man. Prime Dwayne Brown, Brandon Brooks, Chris Myers. Of course, Foster, Ben Tate, and Justin Forsett, man, that's a trio and a half. And we had the scheme to put it all together, man. I miss that so much, but we should have something similar to that this year. And this play is actually one of the craziest ones. Look at the point where he catches the ball here, and you would have no idea that Foster is going to score on this one. And there's just so many points throughout this play where he looks like he's screwed. He looks like there's no chance he's going to make it past him. And he makes so many guys miss and somehow breaks it off into open space for the huge touchdown, man. And not only was he effective receiving the ball, but he was also great at blocking. He was always very aware of blitzers and was just always in really good position to pick up an incoming defender. He did a great job to square up, get low, and actually attack the defender and bring the blow to him. He was just very, very reliable and dependable in that aspect of the game. And that often goes unnoticed. Now, no player is perfect, not even Foster, as much as I love him. And if there was one area to kind of cherry pick about his game, I guess it would have to be that he wasn't, he didn't really have elite speed. He wasn't your CJ2K, he wasn't your Jamal Charles, even your Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffreys, who, when they're in this position to have these big 20, 30-yard gains, they're able to finish off the safety and beat that third level and bring it home for 50, 60, 70-yard touchdowns. That just wasn't Foster's game, and that's completely okay. Again, this is very nitpicky, but I just have to talk about one weakness that there really is. And like I stated earlier, I don't really care about lack of elite speed. I think your acceleration is more important, and we've seen that Foster's got that down. And so the way I look at it is, if he had that elite speed, he could have been the best running back of all time. Alright, that'll do it for my Arian Foster breakdown. I hope this was a great stroll down memory lane for y'all, because it certainly was for me. He's so special, man, and I can't wait until we find our next franchise running back. So if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. If you're still listening, you're a real one. I appreciate you, and the question of the day is, who is your favorite Texan of all time? Let me know. Also, I'm a part of Texans Unfiltered. We've got a great website where I write about more Texans related stuff and a great weekly podcast as well. We've got one where we're talking all things Texans and another one talking about fantasy football. So if that interests you, the links will be in the description. Alright, this was Jordan or Texans Thoughts. Hope you enjoyed and come back for more. Take care everyone, and remember, the film don't lie.